Hi, it's Jamie from Midland Tractors. We've put together some help videos to make it easier for you when you're using your Gen 4 display. So welcome, and I hope these are helpful. Today we're going to look at how to create an implement that doesn't have a rate controller, so it's not ISOBUS, on a John Deere Gen 4 display. So, as I've told you before, the Setup tab is your friend. So we're going to hit the Setup tab down the bottom left from the tractor default run page. And we can see by our location that we're already in the right field. We're hooked up to an 8370RX, so we've definitely got the right bit of equipment, but we have no implement there. So we're going to touch anywhere in that equipment module. And then we're going to choose to add an implement. So now we're going to add a new profile down the bottom left. There's nothing in our list yet. And we will call it sprayer. It's always good to have your names the same. So one of the first questions it's going to ask us below the profile name there is whether it has a controller. In this case, we're saying it doesn't. It's not ISOBUS, it doesn't have a rate controller of any kind. So the answer is no. Is it a card, yes or no? Well, it's no. We'll scroll down a little. We've got our dimensions. So we can touch on that box. And our first one there, C, is our lateral offset. If you touch on any of those boxes, it'll explain in a little bit more detail, so we'll touch on that. And that's explaining that it's the distance from the center point of the machine to the center point of the working width of the implement. So with most implements, it's going to be in the center and the answer will be 0. So we'll okay that. The center of rotation, we'll touch on that box. It's important that you fill this out. If you don't, when you get to the end of setting up the implement profile and you go to save, it'll tell you need to. With a 3-point linkage, it's probably not very important. You could even enter a 0, but it has to have some kind of number. But we're going to say that this is obviously a sprayer and it's going to be drawbar. So let's say we can see that it's the inline distance from the connection point, so in this case the drawbar, to the implement's center of rotation while in a working position. So in this case it'll be the wheels of the sprayer. Let's say it's 6.8 meters from the drawbar. And then okay. E is for rear connection. If you had another implement connected on behind, you would have to highlight that tick and then the box would come to life. But very few cases we'd have that. So we're going to hit OK. Now we're going to add an operation. This is really important, as you'll see when we go back to our Setup tab. In this case, we're going to scroll down till we find the correct operation. Being a sprayer, it'll be, there we go, product application liquid. We click that. Now we'll scroll down to our working width and touch our little module there with the meters at 0, and we'll change that to 24 meters and OK. And review and OK. Now we're going to scroll down some more. Our work point, we'll touch on that box. So it's now explaining it's the inline distance from the connection point, so again the drawbar in the case of the sprayer, to the point at which the operation occurs. So let's say that's another 2 meters behind our wheels, so that's going to be 8.4 meters. And okay. Our work recording is our next box down. So this is the action that will make the implement paint and give you a coverage map. So in some cases it might be manual, some cases it can be an implement switch, a 3-point linkage, and so forth. We might just pick rear PDO for this experiment. And then it also wants to know our connection type, which is the next one down. And we're going to enter its clevis, it's a clevis drawbar. And then we're going to save. So at that point, if there'd been something missed out, it would have told us that we'd missed something. So when we're happy with that, we're going to OK. If we weren't happy with something, you can touch upon the word sprayer in that box, and that'll take you back into the profile to edit if you need. But again, we will save because we're happy, and we will go OK. So you'll now see that on the equipment tab, we now have our sprayer there as well. So it's also brought up on the right hand side. You'll notice in the work summary, the operation, because we told it was doing product application, it now says product application because that lives with the implement. Hence why it's really important to add the operation to the implement. So on the right hand side there, the only things we need to fill out is whether it's a single product or a tank mix. We'll say it's a single product. We need to tell it what product it is. So we're going to go product name, highlight that box. Let's say it's a herbicide. We'll say it's Roundup in this case, but if it was something that wasn't in the list, you'll see down the bottom we can add a new product. But we'll select Roundup and then OK. And then you'll see, because we don't have a rate controller, it's not being, the information's not coming from the rate controller, we need to manually tell it how many litres per hectare. So in this case, I'm going to go 100 and OK. And we look at our work page, setup page, and we're happy with all the information and we go OK. So that's how to set up an implement in the Gen 4 display. Thanks, and we'll be chatting again soon.